Hey guys, it's Mark Holthe, Canadian Immigration Lawyer. I am here at one of my favorite places in the world, Cottonwood Park, which is just down from my home. It's a little bit of a rustic wilderness park down by the Old Man River. It's where I like to go to just think, reflect, and just ponder. And today is Canada Day, July the 1st. We've got a little bit of a crosswind here, but that's my southern Alberta. It's windy. Today I wanted to do a little video, and really it's going to be a multi-segment video as I take you on a little journey through my top 10 reasons why I truly believe Canada is the absolute best country for immigrants. So join me as I go on a little bit of a stroll here through Cottonwood Park, sharing my top 10 list of why Canada is so awesome. All right, let's start off with number one. And this one is number one for a reason. Canada is pro-immigration. Unlike so many countries in the world, Canada actually has a plan with our annual levels planning to add more immigrants each year than we did the previous. In fact, Canada is looking at about 1 million new immigrants in the next 3 years. Canada is welcoming. They actually want you. So if that isn't one reason, I could probably stop the list right there. But that's number one. Canada actually wants you. All right, number two. This is something that I learned when I was in grade school, probably as early as grade 3 or grade 4 in Canada. And that is the simple fact that Canada is multicultural. What does that mean? Well, it means that when you immigrate to Canada, we don't melt you into our Canadian culture, whatever that is. Our Canadian culture is actually the way it is because we want you to bring the very, very best that you have from your culture, your traditions, and bring it all in to make our entire identity that much better. So, number one, was Canada is welcoming. But number two, Canada doesn't expect you to leave everything at the door and then assimilate into us. Bring your very best, add it to us. And in the end, the finished product is a whole lot better with everybody's unique backgrounds formulating this whole complete, multicultural society. Number two. All right, number three is the education system. I think it goes without saying that Canada is recognized as one of the best countries in the world to come and get an education. But it's not just our post-secondary education. It's the education that our kids get when we come and we raise our families here. I was the benefit of it. My family was poor. We were poor farmers. If I would liken our situation to other countries, it would be similar to being a farmer maybe in Chandigarh. Maybe. But we didn't have anything. We grew large gardens. That's what we lived off of. We raised chickens. We lived off the land. And somehow, through all of that, when my family had no money, I was able to get an awesome education and a little bit of hard work and ingenuity. I was able to go through university and even get my law degree that I'm so proud of. And that is what our Canadian education system allowed. Why? Well, through student loans and programs that allowed me to get the dollars I needed to be able to study. So that is one of the reasons that I'm doing everything that I am today. It's because of our phenomenal education system. So that is my reason number three. All right, I'm going to sit down for a little break here to share reason number four, why Canada is such an amazing, awesome place for immigrants. 3 was education. Well, you can't talk about Canada unless you talk about healthcare. Our universal healthcare system is phenomenal. It is the envy of the world. When I think back to all of the times I personally have had to rely on it, I shudder to think what the cost would have been if I was in some kind of privatized system where I had to pay for the care that I received out of my own pocket. I've had shoulder surgeries, knee surgeries. Even this past year, I had my gallbladder removed, and I can only imagine what those costs would have been if it wasn't for the amazing healthcare system that we have in Canada. Now, you can go do your research, you can look into it, but I think number 4 is a pretty obvious reason, but a massive one. Thank you, Canada, for the healthcare system that I've relied on, that my family has relied on for so many years, and I know my grandchildren are going to be able to rely on it. Awesome. Well, we're on to number 5, and this is one that people probably won't attribute to my fine country of Canada, and that's its climate. Well, there are so many advantages to living in Canada. The climate is so diverse. Yes, it's not tropical, but we have everything you could imagine. And there's this big misconception, you guys, that somehow it is icicles and frozen tundra all around through 95% of the year. It's not the case. And in fairness, you've probably watched some of my videos in the past where it was blizzarding out here, or there was snow all around Cottonwood Park here. But understand, we had a wonderful, mild winter. And if you want to escape the snow, for the most part, then choose to live in Vancouver, which is as mild a climate that anyone could even imagine. But I love the variety. I love the fact I can ski in the winter. I can go do just about everything. The cooler temperatures create wonderful, wonderful opportunities for ice fishing in the winter, which you've seen previous videos. I could go on and on about the number of reasons why this varied climate that we have, that yes, can go from, minus 60 to minus 70 degrees Celsius in the north, in the Yukon territories, in the Northwest territories, in the Arctic, yes, but it can get pretty hot. I remember, I think it was last year, I was riding my bike home because that's what happened. My kids had the vehicles, and I think it was plus 41 degrees here in Lethbridge. So talk about a swing. You get it all here, and that's my reason number 5. All right, number 6. It's Canada's stable economic system. I think back to the global recession we had in 2008. I remember how our banking system held strong. And speaking to so many of my clients all over the world, where they try to keep their settlement funds in their bank accounts, only to see almost 75% of the value just disappear overnight because of the fluctuations in currency. Canada is an unbelievably strong economic country. And yes, it's not perfect, and some other countries may have some aspects of their economies that are a little bit better or have more to offer. We may not be the highest, we may not be the lowest, but the reality is we are stable. So when you put your money in your bank, you know that it's going to be there. And you know that there's a good chance you're actually going to be able to get some interest on it. So that, for sure, is number 6 for me. All right, number 7. This one I am also very proud of. We're not perfect, but when you compare Canada against many, many other countries in the world, we are safe. There is an unbelievably low crime rate, and the reality is you don't have to fear for the lives of your children. You don't have to fear so many of these things that I hear about in other countries. Kidnapping, targeted shootings, just all of this insanity that exists, even to the south in the US. We just don't see it here in Canada, at least not to the extent that other countries are. Are we perfect? No, we're not. We've got our issues for sure. But guys, I am down here by myself. It is just about 9:30. The sun is just about getting ready to go down. I'm by myself down here in a remote place with nice little steps and paths and trees behind me, overlooking this amazing coulee behind me, all by myself. And am I afraid that someone's going to come and attack me and steal my iPhone? No. This is the beauty of Canada. Yes, we're kind. Yes, we're friendly. Yes, we have some people that are a little crazy, for sure, like every country. But we have an amazing Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP. We have a police force that's full of people that are kind, and you just don't see the same kinds of things that you see in other countries. Even on the local police force here in Lethbridge, I've got some of my best friends that are police officers who genuinely care about me, keeping me safe, and just doing a job to help enforce the rule of law in our country. And so, safe country, I think you guys can also agree with me on that one. Number 7. Number 8, is Canada's stable democracy. We have an amazing democracy in our country. Guys, if I wanted to try to become Prime Minister of Canada, I would have just as good a shot as anyone out there if I wanted to. No, I don't want to do that, but everybody has equal opportunity. We're not divided by classes or by the wealth that we have. Everyone has an opportunity to run for election, to be a member of their legislative assembly for our provincial governments. They have the ability to run as a member of parliament and represent each constituency in our federal government, the same government that makes our immigration laws. Our democracy is one where your vote actually counts. There is no corruption. The whole process is designed to give every person who takes the time to go down and vote a belief that their vote matters. And so when I feel that, and I have confidence in my government, I may not always agree with the party that gets elected, but I know that there are systems in place, checks and balances, that our rule of law governs how our country is run, and that no matter who's at the helm, they're going to be doing their very best, not just to look out for their own interests, but to actually care for us. So, fantastic democracy. That's number 8. All right, number 9. As the sun is starting to set, that's the amazing thing about these iPhones, is they really can adjust and compensate for a lack of light, because it is starting to get pretty late. And my wife's probably thinking, Mark, why are you not home? All right, number 9. The reason that Canada is so awesome is that Canada is beautiful. And do you know what? More of us Canadians are going to find that out right now because of this whole coronavirus that we're dealing with. No longer can we go travel to all those exotic locations, which, I'll be honest, I really missed out on the trip to Egypt, Jordan, and Israel that I was hoping that I was going to be able to do with my wife on our 25th anniversary. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. So we are now looking at our own country, looking at all of the amazing, unbelievable things that there are out there to see. And the landscape is so broad. Obviously, I'm a little biased here, being in southern Alberta, nestled into the Rocky Mountains and the beautiful foothills. There are so many other landscapes all across this amazing country that are in and of themselves worthy of probably ranking number 1 on this list. So, number 9, it's Canada's beauty. All right, let's finish up strong. Number 10, you can see here my path is blocked, so my plan for trying to go into the trees and record the last one was thwarted. But if you look back there, I can't really zoom in, but that tree along the path, in your view, just to the left of it, is this beautiful buck with his antlers all in velvet. He's just hanging out there. He was right at the path on the other side of this washed out area here because of all of our rain. But he doesn't seem to be too concerned about me. And I wish I could point him out to you guys. Maybe I can on the video, if there's a way to do that after I post edit. Anyways, number 10. Number 10 is, without a doubt, I'm just listening around here because it's actually somewhat freaky. I do have my pepper spray just in case there's some crazy coyote or something that's interested in eating me. but we'll leave the buck back there looking on. Number 10 is how easy and simple it is to immigrate to Canada. Now, let me qualify that. The process is easy if you meet the requirements. It's not rocket science. The process for you and your family to be able to immigrate is manageable. It's understandable. It's not convoluted. Is it a little bit dicey, a little bit picky? Yes. If you get anything wrong, immigration will return your application. But anybody can understand it. And that is the beautiful part. Canada has made express entry accessible to all. Now, some people need just a little bit of help, and that's why I'm there. That's why I'm hearing all kinds of things around me here. I don't think any of them are actually large enough to eat me, but it's still somewhat of a concern here, closing into just about 10 o'clock. Like I said, this iPhone never does this justice. But anyways, when it comes to express entry, it's doable. And so if people need just a little bit of help, then we're here. You know, I have my firm, Holthe Immigration Law, and this is what we do all the time. But I've also created the Express Entry Complete Step-by-Step course, which is also available, which you can find in the link below. Both how to book a consult and how to access that guide if that's the direction that you want to do and the direction you want to go if you're one of those DIYers at heart. And then that's permanent residence. But the coolest thing of all, guys, number 10, is that you can truly become a citizen of Canada. And whether you are a born and bred Canadian who saw your first ray of sunshine here on Canadian soil, like myself, or whether you're a naturalized Canadian, someone who has become a permanent resident, has acquired that 3 years of residence in Canada, you then have a pathway to becoming a citizen with every right, every privilege that a Canadian citizen has, even to become the Prime Minister of Canada. So there's my top 10 list, guys. I hope you liked it. It was a lot of fun. Some of my plans were thwarted and I had to dodge water washouts. I had to avoid big buck deers who he's still hanging out there. I wish you guys could see him a little bit better. And the mosquitoes that are currently chomping down on me. But this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm here. If you ever need anything, you have questions, comments, please comment below. I'd love to see your thoughts on the countries that you feel are the best for immigration in the world. But for me, Canada is number one. This is Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, signing off from Cottonwood Park in or near Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Take care.